Hanging shelves in your house is, well, it's not a lot of fun. Can we all agree on that? But it's one of those things that we do have to do, and I have 2 easy methods that you can use to accomplish this job. Let's get right to it. First, you need to figure out the shelf that you're going to hang. Now, I'm going to be hanging a shelf from Ikea that I actually already have on the wall here. They're called the It's a shelf, and it has some end pieces that hold it onto the wall and that actually hold it into the shelf itself, and these are called the Grand Halt. My friends from Sweden have some great names. No offense, guys. I love your stuff. One thing I've learned about these Ikea shelves is the process goes a little bit smoother if you put the end pieces on first. That way you can get it on the wall just a little bit easier. If you try and put these on and then get the shelf in, it can become a massive disaster. When I'm matching up against another shelf, I like to get the new shelf onto the wall with a level that is touching shelf number 1 and hitting that new shelf that I'm putting up. This gives me a really strong idea of where I am as far as level is concerned with that next shelf. Then I just take my pencil and mark the very top portion of the first set of hardware. That's my starting point, and that initiates the remainder of the process. For method number 1, you need a measuring tape and you need a level. Take the measurement of the holes from one end of your hardware to the other on the opposite end of the shelf, get that measurement, and then go up to the wall and mark it based off of that first mark that we just made. Then I grab my level and just mark it off so I know where it is level. This is an easy way to get the shelf up on the wall, get the first 2 holes started so that you can get the remainder of your holes done. However, there's an easier way to do this. With this method, I put my first drywall anchor in the wall. Now, it's ideal to get shelves, at least one part of a shelf when you're putting it in the wall, into a stud. But since I'm hanging mine in a very specific location, even though I scanned the wall for studs, I know I'm not going to be able to put a screw in a stud. I'm using drywall anchors. So to make this second method work, I got the first drywall anchor into where I marked my first hole, so it's going to be level with that other shelf that I have. And I put the screw in, but I didn't put it in all the way. The shelf itself wiggles on here, and I needed to do that, otherwise this method won't work. Now that your shelf is basically hanging off of the wall, we can go ahead and grab our level. Take your level and put it up on top of the shelf, get it up to a point on the wall where you know the shelf is going to be level, and mark your 3 remaining holes. You simply drop your shelf down now, let it rest on the other location and still kind of hang on the wall, and put your drywall anchors in your other 3 holes. From here, you simply lift your shelf up and start putting your screws into the other 3 drywall anchors. Once you have all 4 screws in, make sure they're snug. Do not over tighten them, especially when you're using drywall anchors. You just want to make sure that they are in properly to hold the weight of the shelf. Speaking of which, if you're not quite sure what you should use to hang your heavy items, check out this video over here. And while you're here, you can also check out this guy as well. Until the next time, keep doing it yourself.